All right. The Wire, Season 4, Episode 13. This is the season finale. I have to admit, this series knows how to wrap everything up. They know how to conclude a season. I can't tell you how good this episode was. It seemed to be the perfect length. And there's another thing about that, about what I've said. Their ability to close out, right? Now, each character is accounted for. You may not like the direction the character's going in, but there's still closure, which I think is so important when it comes to a TV show like this. Now, come on, there's countless TV shows who've not a complete series, but a complete series. I can say that. Not only a complete series, but each season they leave you on a cliffhanger, wanting you to come back for more. This show doesn't have to rely on that. They're like, hey, I hope you enjoyed this season. You're gonna come back to see what we do next season, right? So let me try and see if I can say what happened in this episode. So much. There was so much. God. First and foremost, McNutty's back. So after some time, basically riding around in a patrol car, he's decided to come back to this special unit, and on top of that, it's pretty much the old team, it's pretty much the entire team. I gotta slow down my speech. I'm speaking too fast. It's pretty much the entire team minus two people, Herc and Elias. Those two guys, I think they both got ranked up and or doing their own thing. I think Herc's in a whole mess of trouble for his misconduct or whatever the case was, which also ties into something else. The team's back together, and McNutty's decided to come back in there, and they're shucking and driving and moving and grooving on a pretty big case. Another kingpin, of course, but I think McNulty's coming back for other reasons, because the individual he was trying to use as a witness in order to make a stronger case winds up getting murdered, and he's been with the series since season 1, and he gets killed. And man, the emphasis they put on actions such as murder is, I think, so good, because you see the act happen and you expect it to be quick and try to make it disillusion or blur, which has its place, but they take the time to they give you a moment to reflect on this person's journey, this character's journey, not this person, this character's journey throughout the whole season, and whatever relationship you may have put with that character. You don't necessarily, it's not like a blink of an eye and it gets flushed down the toilet. They let it sink in, like, yeah, he's gone forever. Like, dang, that's for real. It's really, I like that. Before I get ahead of myself, what was I talking about? Anyway, there was a tie in there, but I guess I'll talk about Kima's old informant. What's his name? Bubbles. That guy. That character, he's been kicking around since the first season as well, too. He's not gone, but he's hit a pretty... Oh, God, Puddy. He's hit a pretty big milestone, at least in the evolution of his character. He was in a situation where... Damn, I almost want to call it bullying, but it's grown up. So it's not like an adult can come in and supervise the situation. I mean, some guy is really taking advantage of him being weak, and I think that's why it's important that you have to be. There's so many tie-ins, but I feel like it's important. Why it's so important that parents teach their kids to have a backbone or an individual to stick up for themselves or not get pushed around. Because in this instance, that's what was happening. He was constantly getting beaten, robbed by the same person, not by multiple people, but the same person. If he would have just stood up, things probably would have been a little different. Now, I've been on both sides of that, I feel like, where you stand up for yourself, and I've been on the side where you're like, oh, God, I can't do it. I like the first one first. You got to stick up for yourself. But anyway, he winds up trying to take I guess an aggressive, but not as an aggressive. Wouldn't call it passive aggressive, but he tries to take a stab at getting revenge or eliminating this person, and it winds up backfiring because the kid he's with is playing with his nose. He's doing drugs. He puts something in the drugs in order to kill a person who uses it. The kid winds up using it. Of course, he has a mountain of guilt behind that. And it was funny because I think the way they constructed it in a way where you could see it coming from a mile away. And then when it happens, it's like, damn, now how it's going to play out. And to that actor's credit, man, he went all in on it. And God, he went all in on it. And the setup for that scene too, man, that was masterfully done. I feel like I should break that down or something, but I want to try to keep this video shorter. I don't want to make like a 20-minute video, even though this episode deserves that. But it's just the way they did that was masterful. Let's see what else happened in this dang episode. I said there was another tie-in to this. Oh, about being strong. So now I'm trying to think how many kids we started out with. So we started out with the Longhaired Kid. I still didn't get none of their names. It's my fault. Still didn't get none of their names. So you got the Longhaired Kid, who's son to one of like the hitman from the Barksdale clan. He's one of them. He winds up going with I guess the old colonel of the one who was the brain behind Amsterdam. Believe it or not, he winds up in his custody, which, God, you gotta think is such a good thing for him. Because it's obvious he didn't have the balls to do what his father did, or even be out there in those streets. And I feel like this guy recognized that, and he pleaded with his father to gain custody of the kid. And I think that's the best possible place for that kid. He's gonna have a fantastic life now. I mean, there's still gonna be rough patches, but I don't necessarily think it's gonna. I hate to say it. I hate to say that because then that makes it seem like every kid in the hood should just get plucked from their family and put in a better living situation, which I don't know if it would help or wouldn't help. I mean, I guess it all depends on the individuals involved, at least when it's concerning real life. But the character is good for. Let's see, the other kid, the one that I identify with mostly, the stinky kid. That was me when I was younger. He winds up having just too much anxiety about going to high school, and he winds up going on the corner slinging those drugs. Be interesting to see where that character goes. What else happens? The kid who was labeled a snitch, man. So Elias is trying to foster him and get him out of the system because his actions got the kid labeled as a snitch. He's unsuccessful, and he throws like the silliest tantrum or shows all this frustration in the silliest way. He's punching the horn really light. He's going beep 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 beep. He's not going boo 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 boo. That's the one failing point of this episode. That little acting scene right there, because I've been in rage before and been behind the seat. I've been in rage. I've been in the seat. I've been behind the wheel and I've punched it. Did not make it. The horn did not go beep beep. It said boom because I broke that bitch. But anyway, let's see what else happens. Yeah, he's having a bad time, but he's gonna get hard from this. Definitely. I don't know if that's good or I don't know if it's good or bad. Even though I just talked about standing up for you, but his situation is pretty fucked. Waiting to see what happens to that character, of course. Now, who else was in that group? There was another young man. They didn't really spend too much time on him, but he's a car addict. He's always jacking cars, always stealing cars. They pay a little homage to him, and you see him at the end riding around in a Mercedes or something like that. Good to see he's still kicking around and he hasn't succumbed to the streets. Now the only kid out of that group that I figured out was Michael. This is the one who was being groomed to be a hitman in Marlowe's organization. He committed his first murder. We see that, and we see some of the effects of that, but we also see how good life is for him after all these favors have been done. He got his own place, he's got a girl, he's taking care of his brother, he got his friend in there, all the above. Very interested to see where that character goes, because now he's under the radar of that special unit, that special task force. So who knows where that goes. Let's see what else happened. What else happened in this episode? I'm leaving so much out. That's just the kids. I haven't even touched on Omar. Well, I guess I'll touch on him now. So Omar, I don't know if people got this. This is the forefathers of this is one of the forefathers of fantastic TV, right? To put it simply as I can. So I believe everybody stole the idea from him. But he does something probably that's been done a million times. He robs them from all their product and then sells it back to them for, I don't know, double or triple the price. And by them, I mean everybody who's involved in the drug trade in this series. Because they're all working a coalition now, they call it. And he stole all their drugs and sold it back to them. And less of it. They sold it back to him. They sold less of it back to him. Gotta stop talking so fast. Gotta slow down. Let's see what else happened. Oh, I almost forgot the biggest thing of all. Well, I touched on it, but I guess I didn't go into too much detail. The bodies. They're all coming in. They're flooding in. They've literally put all these bodies in an old gymnasium. And they're doing police work on each and every one of them. Can't believe it. They finally get a break, or they finally get what they wanted out of this case, right? Or they finally get a case. That's what they wanted. I guess I can't get tired of saying this phrase. I'm interested to see what happens. Of course, I can't find any other words to just to express what I want. Yeah, I'm interested to see what's going to happen. What else happens? What else happened in this episode? I talked about the kids, talked about the police, talked about old Catherine getting killed off. Talked about Omar, talked a little bit about the police, talked about some bad acting. I'll be honest with you, I think that's it. Well, now I'm finna go watch the next episode. Let's see what happens from there. And if you like me talking about TV shows, and maybe, yeah, if you get something out of watching it, if you like me talking about it, go check out some other videos. I got Breaking Bad, I got The Mandalorian, which I don't like. I've got got The Americans, I've got Futurama, I've got miniseries Chernobyl. I got a few movies as well. Go check those out and subscribe. Now, I'm doing it. It's a habit. I'm going to be doing it every video I make now. It's really easy. I need you to subscribe. This is how you do it. You take your finger, and you see that subscribe button, and you just, boop. That's all you got to do. Well, it probably won't make that sound, but you can just add your own sound effects. You can make it a horse sound. You can make it a pig sound. You can make it two long lost friends. Hey, what's up, motherfucker? Whatever you want. Just press the button and subscribe.